Alchemy Code.
These past weeks have been consumed with Monster Hunter Wilds. It's needless to say that the story has been spectacular leading into the endgame, each of the hunts being captivating and unique. Now hunting for large and small crown monsters on my end, taking down the tempered apex monsters, to pick your decorations and Ardean parts, the weapons have become clearer, but the armor not so much. As each monster has been revealed throughout the game, their armors released to us, and the skills possessed being uncovered, plenty of Armorset skills seem so interesting to think about using. How to make a build that accommodates their skills and incorporates them. And to me, and I'm surely many other build crafters out there, may have quickly discovered the odds that if you aren't a monster whose armor isn't a rarity 7 or higher gear, your decoration slot access may be little to be desired, leaving most endgame builds restricted to the comfort of Arkfeld's Sustain, or the damage of Gormagala's Frenzy, with crit. Though I am happy to see some rarity 6 armors make the cut, with Odogaren's Burst, and things like Blongo Cheer Squad breaking in. With the title update 1 right around the corner, I figure I present a build that I've been using and I'll likely be farming Mizutsune and eventually Arc-Tempered Raidal with. A bit more of a comfort build for me, that performs surprisingly well. Cutting right into our armor, the set looks a little something like this. A simple set is expected from a set consisting of blue armors, which works well as a mid-game build, and even later into the game it's been working for me. But still gets the job done, it's functional for what it wants to do. But what does this armor set do exactly, you might be asking? Well, to put it simply, this set focuses on raw stats, given by the effect of Zulu's armor set skill, Protein Fiend, at rank 2 granting us plus 25 to our attack. For me, the key to comfort is also consistency. The Zulu armor set skill provides just that in the form of a consistent and reliable attack buff. But we're going to need more than a total of 5 levels of Adrenaline Rush, a single level of Heroics, and 2 levels of Earplugs built into the set. Though oddly, while playing this build I realized that level 2 Earplugs alone seem to negate roars from Uthduna and even Arkfeld, as seen here in the video. For a build consisting of blue armor pieces, we have a surprisingly good decoration economy. Contrary to the common set foundations, we're not looking for any affinity in this build's armor. So, the lack of tier 3 decoration slots aren't too much of a hindrance, while our abundance of decoration 1 slots help this comfort build's comfort. Filling out the slots based on how I play looks like this, and any of these decorations are interchangeable with any other decorations you may want to experiment with. As, for example, if you knew a monster well, and you don't need Evade Window and or Evade Extender, you can insert your choice of offensive armor decorations such as Resentment, Peak Performance, or anything else you might want to try. By no means is this a new build, but this style of Greatsword has been around plenty throughout the series. But being able to make such a build has been fun. As mentioned, the set is meant to be more for my own comfort, by no means supposed to compete with the meta builds, but this is just a build to farm, grind out monsters, to get decos, to get closer to a build that's more meta-centric and efficient. The playstyle of this build leans towards a running gun or slashing playstyle. Different, safe yet agile greatsword set that's different from what you're used to as a traditional greatsword. Unfortunately, you'll be taking one of the most fun new mechanics that we've been given and throwing it out the window, being unable to transition to your offset attack straight from unsheath and opting to dodge attacks instead of guarding, reducing your power clash opportunities. The playstyle consists of cycling between powerful unsheathed charged slashes, sheathing, evading, and repeat. What to do, making a bit more sense as I reveal the other components to this build. Mantle-wise, the default choice for any build seems to be Corrupted Mantle. You're going to want to constantly sheath your weapon and attack, keeping the offense through unsheathing, focusing on breaking parts, dodging into attacks or through the monster to proc Adrenaline Rush, alongside Protein Fiend's buff being constantly active. Being dodge-centric, the mantle of choice for me actually ends up being the evasion mantle. Though you're not able to capitalize on the alternative combos due to being sheathed with your weapon, it also double dips with Adrenaline Rush, as you'll want to dodge through the attacks anyway. You'll get an additional attack boost for doing just that. The evasion mantle gives you additional iframes, making you no longer need to worry about being hit with the last few frames of an attack by a monster. Remembering our foundation of Zuwu's Protein Fiend, to those unfamiliar with this skill, eating one of these steaks will grant us 25 attack for 2 minutes, which does not work with rations unfortunately, so we'll need to remain stocked up on well done steaks. Only being able to hold 5 of these, free meal eliminates the trip back to the camp and lets us stay in the fight. You will need to maintain this buff, ideally wanting it up 100% of the hunt. Now if you've ever tried to down one of these hunks of meat, you'll know it's not quick to down at all. A whole 5 seconds actually. So, we're gonna change that with the addition of Gobbler, cutting the time in half. Being a run and gun build, sheathing and unsheathing is essential. Quick sheath is a must, both making it faster to get to your attack windows and sheathed to ready for any dodge opportunities. On the offensive side, Heartbreaker helps you as you sheath, allowing you to reposition to tails, wings, or even head. Yes, the head. Nowhere safe on this monster as you break parts easier and hit the naturally forming wounds throughout the hunt. The most flexible of the skills, Evade Window, has a 2-slot, and our Talismen being dedicated to this skill due to the charm's 3-level efficiency for Evade Window, although your Talisman is free to any skill of choice. Dodging attacks to proc Adrenaline Rush is the game plan, but it's plenty consistent that sometimes, though you dodge out of the attacks, you still might end up getting clipped by the monster's last few frames, knocking you down and missing out on the window of your buff, as you close the distance created by being knocked down, so increasing your iframes goes a long way. If you prefer Extender over Window, it's preference, but Extender occasionally repositions me away from the monster and I need to get closer with another dodge. Our affinity will need to come from somewhere, and for those who probably picked up on it, our affinity will be incorporated into our weapon with the critical draw skill, granting us 100% affinity rate on the first draw attack, as well as lingering affinity for a few more seconds to follow up. You can use a second strong charge slash or a focus attack. Yep, we're making a bootleg Frostcraft. As a must on Greatsword and a staple on any charge weapon, focus must be present, leaving the last potential slot being a flexible one actually. You can take advantage of your 100% affinity with critical boost for example, or another means of doing damage and granting yourself a new damage window, adding the final skill that I use, Gambit, otherwise known as Punishing Draw, allowing you to squeeze more damage in as monsters become knocked out by the sharp edge of your charge slash. Thankfully, with these desired skills, Capcom has given us some options. There's obviously the versatile option found with the Ardian weapons, allowing you to put any status or element onto this build, which I'm personally using to grant myself an additional damage window via wake-up hits and sleep bombing, using more fine-tuned decorations to lean into this, with the combinations of Focus Slugger decorations, as well as Punishing Draw and Slugger, with the additional KO buildup on these unsheathing charge hits that deal stun damage. Alternatively, crafting options being vast due to how many greatswords carry focus or crit draw as an innate skill. Here's a few that I compiled for options, each having their own pros and cons. Although the Spear Tuna would be an amazing option, only having Slugger 2 and Gambit 3 innately, for this armor build that we have, only having a 3 and a 2 slot on the weapon makes you lose out on either focus or draw. Not having them completely built, you're either going to have 70% crit each of your draw hits, or having a faster charge speed to do damage faster might make it not that worth it. Your build path and options ultimately being dictated by your decoration availability, but you'll still have plenty of options to choose from to build. Seeming second best is Guardian Doshaguma's Greatsword. It has plenty of raw, and it's a good alternative choice to do more damage. A Handicraft 3 decoration, on the other hand, would do more for you, at the cost of the potential knockout damage windows, and as you get more comfortable with dodge timing, you can opt to remove the evade window talisman for a maximum might talisman to lock in the 100% affinity again, though this weapon still requires a lot of sharpening to keep the white sharpness up. Yet, as someone running hunts in co-op, I personally still gravitate towards the weaker raw, but utility of the Sleep Ardean Greatsword, having the KOs to help my team, and Sleep to give them room to breathe. The utility goes a long way in any hunt. This video has been one of many potential builds in Wilds that worked for me with what we've had. Of course, there's plenty of other great skills, armors, and weapons in the base game of Wilds, and I can't wait to craft and try new builds to change up the way we may traditionally play them, and that you may give this build a shot if it's piqued your interest. If you enjoyed hearing me ramble, or would like to hear more from me, like the video if you did, and leave a comment below to tell me your thoughts. Community feedback is always appreciated here, and I'd love to see what you think. I don't know how comfy build videos like this do, but if the reception is good, I'd love to make more functioning builds. I'm sure as I slowly branch out to other weapons, more builds and ideas will naturally come to me. I play Lance, Greatsword, SNS, Swax, and Glaive, so the variety of builds can vary. Thank you all for watching to the end, and giving me your time. Until next time, happy hunting!